Today I want to share with you guys a few tips on how to pay less for Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop, or to get it free altogether. Now, the first tip, of course, is to take advantage of the free trial. As of right now, Adobe offers a 30-day free trial for both Lightroom and Photoshop. You get access to all the features, all the services. You do have to enter your credit card, because just like Amazon Prime membership or any membership these days, they're going to charge you after that trial period. The trial is kind of how they hook you, and then they kind of hope you forget that they have your credit card, but you can cancel just before that. So tip number one, very simple, take advantage of their free trial. Tip number two is to actually double this trial period, and this is a little bit of a hack. So Adobe offers a very generous return policy. They actually let you, after a time of purchase, after you receive the receipt for your purchase, you have 30 days to return both Lightroom and Photoshop. So essentially this gives you an extended 30 days of use. So combine those two together with step number one, taking advantage of their 30-day policy, or 30-day free trial, excuse me. You have a full 60 days if you don't mind putting down that $10 deposit for that 1 month that you will get back on the return. They're a big company. I assume they're going to be very generous with the returns. So tip number three would be finding a institution, school, or company you're associated with that is offering some softwares for free. So for example, I went to a public university, a state university, and they offered Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Photoshop, Microsoft Office, Acrobat, among a host of other softwares for completely free. Granted, we were paying tuition, but take advantage of those things. Ask your company, ask your school, search online to see if they're offering some free softwares, because Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop, there's a good chance that they are one of those free services they're offering, because they're one of the most popular and necessary for a lot of coursework, especially digital art that you will find in schools. And if you're not going to school, if you're not working for a company that offers this, find somebody who is. Adobe allows you to download the same license on more than one computer. So find somebody who has only downloaded on one and ask if you can have the other one from the university. This is probably against Adobe's terms of service and the universities or companies, but hey, I don't think that stopped somebody in the past. It may not stop you. So tip number four would be to edit in bulk. So it's a yearly plan for Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop, but you only pay monthly. So $10 a month doesn't sound like a lot, but it's $120 a year, and monthly fees add up. So in order to cut this down, if you're a photographer, if you're a digital artist, try to edit in bulk. Instead of paying $10 every month and say maybe, I don't know, January through, let's say half the year, so January through June, you edit, I don't know, maybe 10% of all the photos you're going to have for the year, because maybe you go to a trip during the summer and you have more photos when you come back. Whatever the case may be, maybe you have more projects. Whatever the case may be, try to find a time period, maybe a few months, maybe half of the year, something that fits your workflow and fits the amount of work you need to do. And only pay for Adobe, Photoshop, and Lightroom for that time, for that year. When you cancel your credit card, cancel your payment, Adobe Photoshop will give you like a 28-day notice. So again, you can kind of get an extended 30 days. But the idea here is to only pay for what you're going to need it for, and to schedule your editing, schedule your creative process around a more cheaper payment process, essentially. Tip number five would be to find a buddy or somebody who's already using and paying for Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom, and just bum off of them for a little bit. They shouldn't mind for a little bit if you just want to test the waters, and if that doesn't work, then you can always split it with somebody, right? Because $5 a month is a lot better than $10 a month. And like I said before, Adobe, the company, allows Photoshop and Lightroom to be downloaded on two different computers for one license. And unless you have a laptop and a giant desktop that you need both Photoshop on, then you can split it with somebody. It's a great way to reduce the cost. Alright guys, so the sixth and final tip would be to find it online. Companies like Adobe do a good job to make sure that their products are not downloaded illegally, shared illegally, and what have you. But if you want to give it a shot, your best bet would be for file sharing websites such as Mediafire. Some people even use Dropbox. Just go to Google, type in free Photoshop or Adobe Lightroom media, uploading media, filing website. and you should find what you're looking for. I can't promise it's going to work, and I can't promise that it won't work. So if that's something you're into, give it a shot. I hope those helped you. These are just a few tips that I've come up with through my experience and being tired of paying $10 a month for this service. It's certainly not everything. It's nothing new, and it's not exhaustive. If you have any other tips or corrections, throw them down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys are enjoying this type of content. I'll try to upload more in the next few days. So take it easy.